I grew up on that shit. WWE, baby.
The floor's yours.
Dude, I used to be a big fan. Me and Lindsay used to like wrestle all the time, and like our parents would have to call it. But like Kane, the Hulk. Oh my God, I used to watch the Hulk all the time, the reality TV show. John Cena was just the absolute best, man. Actually, they asked me to do it. You know, maybe after I retire or off season, maybe us two will be the new WWE duo.
Sophie Cunningham just lit the internet on fire by casually challenging a WWE legend to a fight, and somehow Nikki Bella actually said yes. The Phoenix Mercury guard went on a podcast reminiscing about her childhood obsession with wrestling, dropped the Bella twins' name like it was nothing, and suddenly there's a very real back and forth exploding across social media about turning this into an actual match. A WNBA player squaring up with a WWE Hall of Famer. This is the crossover nobody saw coming but now can't stop thinking about. And it raises one wild question. When did professional basketball players start believing they could step into a WWE ring with legends and survive?
WWE legends.
Yeah.
Speaking of tradition, though, speaking of tradition and legends, the great John Cena is retiring from the WWE after 24 years. He tapped out of his last match. Guys, he's obviously an OG and one of the Fast and Furious greats. But what do you guys think about just like wrestling as a whole in his career?
I grew up on that shit. WWE, baby.
Okay.
The floor's yours.
Dude, I used to be a big fan. Me and Lindsay used to like wrestle all the time, and like our parents would have to call it. But like Kane, the Hulk. Oh my God, I used to watch the Hulk all the time, the reality TV show. John Cena was just the absolute best, man. Actually, they asked me to do it. You know, maybe after I retire or off season, maybe us two will be the new WWE duo.
I'd wrestle.
Let's talk about the absolutely unhinged exchange that just went down between Sophie Cunningham and Nikki Bella. Because this is either the greatest publicity stunt of the year or the start of the most random sports crossover we've ever seen. Sophie recently went on a podcast talking about her childhood and her love for WWE. Pretty normal stuff. Athletes share their interests all the time. But then she took it a step further. She didn't just say she was a fan. She said she'd actually want to wrestle. And then she went ahead and specifically called out the Bella twins.
Okay, so you talked about wanting to be in the WWE. If you were to do that, who would you want to go against in the ring the most?
Girl, I do not even know. Like, I grew up, I haven't even watched it in so long.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know what my name would be. I know it'd be like something spicy and
yes.
feisty.
Like SC, like power, like something like
something.
SC, like something.
It
like
has
that.
to be. But what about the twins? Do you remember the
Nikki
twins?
Bella?
Yes, the Bella twins.
I forgot the other Bella.
So like I think it'd be fun to like either partner with them or like go against them.
Yeah, I mean,
so
like,
that's what I would choose.
Yeah, I think they're like the best.
Oh,
so.
well, I'm hopefully gonna take away
their
shine one day.
Yes, you will. I believe in you. Perfect, thank you.
Of course. It's nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Now, for anyone who doesn't really know who Nikki Bella is, here's the context that makes this whole thing wild. Nikki Bella, alongside her twin Brie, was one of the biggest stars WWE had for over a decade. She's a two-time Divas champion, held that title for a record 301 days, headlined massive matches, and lived inside some of WWE's most iconic storylines. She dated John Cena, crossed fully into mainstream celebrity, appeared on reality TV, and built a following in the millions. And Sophie Cunningham, a 6-foot guard for the Phoenix Mercury, casually said she'd like to wrestle her. On the podcast, Sophie laughed it off, saying she hasn't watched WWE in a while, mentioned the Bella twins, and said it would be fun to either team up with them or go against them. Not trash talk. Not disrespect. Just a fan tossing out a dream scenario. Normally, that's where it ends. A fun clip, a few laughs, forgotten in a week. Except Nikki Bella saw it. And instead of ignoring it, she replied on social media, saying she'd take Sophie one-on-one, complete with emojis. That wasn't polite acknowledgement. That was acceptance. And Sophie didn't hesitate, firing back with an "oh hell yeah" and flames. Just like that, a potential WNBA versus WWE crossover was born, and fans instantly started spiraling over whether this was real or pure entertainment. And here's the reality check. WWE isn't real fighting. It's scripted, choreographed, and predetermined. But it is brutally physical. Wrestlers are elite athletes who train relentlessly, absorb real punishment, and operate in a world where one mistake can end a career. So when Sophie talks about stepping into a ring with Nikki Bella, she's not talking about casual fun. She's talking about entering a space where the demands are extreme, the risks are real, and the consequences can be permanent.
Going coast to coast. And here we got another.
But Sophie isn't just some random athlete talking reckless with no background to back it up. She grew up on WWE, wrestling non-stop with her sister Lindsay until things got so intense their parents had to step in and shut it down. She talked about John Cena as one of her all-time favorites, calling him the absolute best. And you can hear it in her voice. This isn't fake hype. She understands the culture, the history, the grind. This isn't clout chasing, it's genuine love. And that authenticity is exactly why this story takes a sharp turn. Because Sophie revealed that WWE has already reached out to her. They've actually asked me to do it. She said maybe after she retires, maybe during the off-season, maybe they become a new WWE duo because yes, she'd wrestle. And suddenly this stops being internet fantasy and starts sounding very real. There have been actual conversations, real interest, real momentum. That changes everything. This isn't just a throwaway podcast moment anymore. This is something that could legitimately happen if the timing lines up. And now you have to ask the obvious question, why would WWE be interested in this at all? Because from their perspective, this move actually makes a lot of sense. WWE knows exactly what it's doing by leaning into this with Sophie. The WNBA just had its biggest year ever. Caitlin Clark brought unprecedented attention to women's basketball, and players like Sophie Cunningham, who already has a strong following and a bold personality, are more marketable than ever. WWE thrives on crossover appeal. They've done it with NFL stars, NBA players, boxers, MMA fighters. So why not a WNBA player? And Sophie fits the mold perfectly. She's outspoken, edgy, never backs down from confrontation, talks trash on the court, plays physical, and has a look that screams larger than life. Red hair, tattoos, attitude. She's basically a WWE character already who just happens to play professional basketball. WWE Creative would eat this up. They could build an entire storyline around a WNBA star stepping into the ring, trying to prove herself against established legends. The content practically writes itself. And the fact that Nikki Bella jumped into this so eagerly, that part says a lot too. Nikki Bella has been away from full-time WWE competition for a while now, focused on business ventures, reality TV, and her personal life, but it's obvious the wrestling world still has a pull on her. A high-profile matchup against a real athlete from another sport is exactly the kind of moment that could lure her back for a special appearance. It's the perfect cross-promotional win. Sophie gets to live out a childhood dream while massively expanding her profile. Nikki gets another headline moment. WWE gets a fresh storyline that pulls in both basketball and wrestling fans. Everyone wins. But let's slow down and talk reality. Sophie Cunningham is a professional basketball player first. Her priority is the Phoenix Mercury. She's under contract and has real obligations. WWE matches, even one-offs, require serious training, preparation, and rehearsal. You don't just step into a WWE ring and hope for the best. People get hurt, even veterans. Someone without pro wrestling experience jumping in cold would be dangerous. That's why Sophie herself mentioned doing it after retirement or during the off-season. That's the only timeline that makes sense. During the WNBA season, it's not happening. The team and the league would never sign off on that risk. But in the off-season, it's actually realistic. WNBA players already do plenty in that window, including playing overseas, so the door isn't completely closed. They do appearances, they build brands, they chase opportunities outside basketball, so adding a WWE appearance to that list suddenly doesn't sound as insane as it did at first glance. The social media exchange between Sophie and Nikki has been playful and fun, with Nikki saying, "Bring it on," and Sophie firing back, "Oh, hell yeah." And that kind of back and forth does something dangerous. It creates momentum. It builds curiosity, fuels headlines, and pressures everyone involved to either deliver or explain why it won't happen. WWE thrives on moments exactly like this, organic sparks between a celebrity athlete and a wrestling legend that feel spontaneous but are perfect for storytelling. From a pure entertainment angle, the matchup is fascinating. Sophie Cunningham is 6 feet tall, in elite shape, strong, competitive, and comfortable with physical contact. But Nikki Bella is a trained professional with over a decade of ring experience, someone who knows how to control a crowd, sell a story, and make chaos look compelling. If this ever happens, it would have to be carefully structured to showcase Sophie's athleticism while protecting her from real injury, because that's the art of wrestling, making it look brutal while keeping it safe. Sophie mentioning tag teams versus one-on-one shows she actually understands the formula, since tag matches are easier for crossover stars. But Nikki specifically pushing a one-on-one matchup is telling, because that suggests she thinks Sophie could handle it, which is no small compliment. Of course, the result wouldn't be about who wins a real fight, because WWE doesn't work that way. It's about the story. Does Sophie arrive as the outsider who shocks the system? Does Nikki assert veteran dominance? Or do they end up allies after clashing? Any of those narratives work. The timing also matters because WWE lives for moments at WrestleMania, SummerSlam, or the Royal Rumble, where celebrity appearances explode online. A properly built Sophie Cunningham appearance would dominate sports media, pull in basketball fans, and create a crossover moment both brands would benefit from. But here's where reality checks the hype. Sophie joking that she can handle WWE because she used to wrestle her sister until their parents broke it up is cute. But that's like saying you're NBA ready because you ran the local gym. WWE is a completely different animal. Over. This isn't just a fun social media moment. It's a collision of two worlds. Sophie Cunningham is used to the hardwood, precision, and athleticism of basketball. But WWE is a whole different beast. Choreography, timing, showmanship, and taking hits safely. The good news? History shows that athletes who commit to learning the craft like Bad Bunny can surprise everyone. The key question now is, will Sophie put in the work to make this a legitimate spectacle? Or will it just be another viral social media stunt? Either way, the potential for chaos, entertainment, and jaw-dropping moments is through the roof. This story is just getting started.